Hello, germs and/or mental gen slash ladies, and whatever that Technicolor rainbow is in between there. I can't make out the details. Welcome back to the cast, and oh, what a motley crew we are.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Mehcast, and oh, what a motley crew we are. Today we're back to playing Resident Evil Requiem.
And meanwhile, I'm back with Skyward Sword.
This video is once again anti-sponsored by Gator Frameworks. Now, it's been a few weeks, so I'm going to be attempting to figure out how the fuck I'm supposed to be...
You know, the funny
Where
thing
the fuck
is,
I'm supposed to be
Alex,
going, and what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing.
every time I hear, every time I think of Resident Evil 9 Leon, especially RE9 Leon, all I could think is that is the new is the latest is Devil Artemis sketch with Resident Evil. Oh, where Leon on just no cells, not only a regular beam attack from Cell, but also a spirit bomb. Perfect android, huh? Guess perfection's got a few bugs in it. That game. So
Guess you're not so perfect after all, huh?
I feel like the one-liner Devil Artemis game was a bit better. Just a smidge.
And I can't stand the way the hair shimmers. Like, some of the characters' hair looks very off. Okay, so no, when we look at the close shots, the hair looks fine. I was watching a video that was just a compilation of... God fucking damn it. Don't need that. There we go. Here I was thinking that wasn't actually going to show up on the stream, but that's what I get for not looking at it. It's the RE Framework Launcher thingy. Mod Manager. Encoding overload. Zero dropped frames, 2% CPU usage.
So,
Okay,
weirdly enough, recently, last week, we got
He's
we got the
dead,
legacy,
there's blood everywhere.
we got the Legacy Collection for Mega Man Star Force, and I have to say, it's really impressive how the RE engine isn't just for realistic graphics and whatnot.
It's kind of like how MT Framework was a really good engine for just about anything that Capcom threw at it. Like, they built fighting games on that engine. They built Resident Evil games on that engine. I think they even
They
built...
did Devil May Cry on that
yeah, they did Devil
engine.
May Cry on that engine. And, like, it's a really, really solid engine. And,
like, some people don't realize that engines like this aren't just for graphics. It's there for, you gotta have the game.
Yeah, you gotta have engines that are... Speck of dust on my monitor. You gotta have engines that are good for, photo mode can be accessed.
And keep in mind, it's running three whole-ass Mega Man games. And their alternate versions.
Okay, so turning frame gen off makes the performance better. That sounds about right. So speaking of Resident Evil, on April Fool's Day, of all things, Capcom decided, hey, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna release the classic Resident Evil games on Steam. The versions that we released on GOG, but this time we're going to add shitty DRM to them.
Because of course.
But hey, at least considering they're PlayStation 1 games, they're not gonna tank the performance too badly like that. Yep.
Okay, now I feel like it.
Hemolytic injector.
So...
Thought I already went through this.
So, for people who have somehow lived underneath a rock for who knows how long, the Nintendo DS has had quite a few releases, including releases of the GBA Mega Man games, Mega Man Zero, which was what Keiji Inafune wanted to do all this time.
Oh, damn it.
Because...
Oh, that's my fault.
Inafune wanted to make a Mega Man game in where someone who isn't the Blue Bomber was the protagonist. Because you want to know what he believed along with a bunch of other people?
What?
That red was the color of a hero.
Oh, so he wanted to make, what's his name, Zero into the protagonist, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, that was the intention that was originally the intention for Mega Man X, but... he ended up deciding to... But Capcom pretty much told him, no, people want to actually be able to recognize as the main protagonist as Mega Man.
I mean, they could have just made Mega Man red if they wanted a red protagonist that badly.
Yeah, but Mega Man is always associated with the color blue.
I know, he's called the Blue Bomber for a reason.
Yeah, so yeah, initially, Inafune only wished to do 5 games before they decided to,
Why are you holding the Requiem?
that it was time to move on and do his own thing.
Oh, come on. You've got a fucking shiv, girl. Well, I'm dead again.
And so... And of course... And Capcom, being Capcom, decided, instead of honoring Inafune's wish and ending the X series by 5, they went behind his back to develop Mega Man and X6, which serves as a massive contradiction into stuff established by the end of X5. And Mega Man 0 and Mega Man in 01, because the original Mega Man 0 was developed with the intention of the series ended by Mega Man in X5. So, needless to say, a Inafune wasn't really pleased, and you wonder why he hasn't really been working on a whole lot of Capcom projects.
Oh, it would have been a hell of a lot easier to, It still says that we have encoding overload, even though the game is running fine. The program that I'm using to broadcast, OBS, is running fine. And, Okay, so this is where I was. This is not where I need to be right now.
So yeah, Capcom essentially... So after Capcom kind of went behind Inafune's back, I did not turn right. The game thinks I turned right when I did it.
What the fuck happened to the...
Anyway.
Oh, this is also not where I need to be.
So Inafune... So Inafune continued to work on the Mega Man Zero series. He's despite, you know, his... And had to do a bunch of rewrites on the spot. To, you know, make sure it lines up with what happened in the most recent Mega Man X game, to the point where, well, aside from me dying in such a stupid way, let's try that again.
Yeah, it's Capcom. Capcom doesn't understand anything.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to have to bang that gong, but like Capcom is...
People forget that the last decade of Capcom has been some of the literal worst of the company. They released Street Fighter 5 unfinished.
Yep.
And
I remember hearing somebody say, hey, Capcom fixed the matchmaking, by which I mean matchmaking doesn't work anymore. You can't make matches.
Yep. So yeah, Capcom had some of the worst PR and whatnot out there. Though by the time Street Fighter V was pretty much finished with all of its stuff, aside from the abysmal story mode, it was a solid fighting game. Keep in mind, I said aside from the abysmal story mode. Because everybody knows that...
Didn't it launch without a story mode?
Yes!
Yeah.
The story mode had to be DLC. Paid DLC. Or I think it was free,
yeah, that's... The amount of times Capcom has done stuff that should have destroyed the entire company and survived is baffling. Like, I have no idea how this company still exists. And I'm saying that playing a fucking Capcom game that's great right now, so, you know, this is how they keep doing it. They put out a bunch of bullshit, and then they come out with fucking amazing shit every now and again, and people forget...
these legacy...
remember why they...
The Legacy Collection is... The Legacy Collections for every single Mega Man game as of late has been one of the reasons why I was able to get more into the franchise.
I thought I killed you. Where the hell? Close the door. There we go.
Okay, I got a Lizalfo tail.
Oh, green herb. That'll come in handy.
And many people, oh, I'm sure, were very skeptical about the idea of Capcom not only opting to release the Battle Network games on their consoles, because eventually on every home console, because the thing is, those games were the start of there being multiple versions of the same game.
Yeah.
So people will probably be like, how are you going to be able to have all this on the console? Like, the Mega Man and Zero and the Mega Man ZX games, that's one thing. And hell, some people are waiting anxiously for a friggin' Legends collection. A collection consisting of 2 Mega Man games and 1 game featuring Tron Bonne. Some people do not realize that many people were miffed over the fact that Legends 3 got canceled. And Volna is stuck on that damn moon.
Whalers on the moon carry a harpoon. Speaking of which, there was a moonshot recently.
A moonshot?
Yeah. Did you not hear about this?
No.
Oh, NASA's doing an orbit of the moon.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, the flat earthers are fucking up in arms about it. It's like, oh, NASA is like ancient Hebrew for like deceiver or whatever. I was like, okay, hey motherfucker, you're on my list of people who need to be on that rocket. I don't care if it comes back. Now, I have gotten myself turned right the fuck around and have no idea where I need to be. That is not where I need to be. Okay.
There we go. You know, one of the best things...
Lobby.
As I've said last session about this game with the bombs, one of the best things about the bombs in this game is the fact that it's... is the fact that as long as there are bomb flowers, you can restock however many you want. Now, the thing about... Oh. Oh, hello.
Okay, I done fucked up there, I think.
So yeah, for a while, all the legacy collections seem to have been doing pretty well, especially in the localization department, because they have been going back and relocalize and rewriting a couple of the localization errors, especially when it comes to certain names. Because as much as some people love the localized names of Mega Man X5's Mavericks, they are woefully inaccurate.
There's nothing worse. There's almost nothing worse in gaming than somebody writing the names wrong.
Like I get why this was done, because Allison Court was responsible for the localization on that particular venture. But at the same time,
why is my frame rate tanking, guys?
We kind of wanted I would think some people would want a more accurate localization of Mega Man and X5. But apparently a lot of people preferred the oh so glorious name of Duff McWhalen.
That's a Guns N' Roses reference, isn't it?
They're all Guns N' Roses references. The only Guns N' Roses reference in that game is Spike Rose Red. And his stage is filled with
those
Guns
are
N' Roses.
Okay, yeah, so fucking Duff McKagan. Right.
Then there's Grizzly Slash. Izzy Glow.
Yeah, after Izzy Stradlin.
Hold on, I'm gonna look up the name, the Guns N' Roses name. Real quick for.
Encoding overload. Again.
For each of the. So for the Guns N' Roses names, we had Grizzly Slash, Duff McWhalen, Squid Adler. That's Steven Adler.
Yeah.
Izzy Glow, Dark Dizzy, which is a reference to Dizzy Reed. Mad Rex, which references the drummer Matt Sorum. Axel the Red, referencing Axel Rose, and the Skyver, which is a reference to Michael High in the Sky Monroe. You want to know what their actual names are?
Not that.
Crescent Grizzly, Tidal Whale, Volt Kraken, Shining Firefly, Dark Necrobat, Burn Dino Rex, Spike Rose Red, and Spiral Pegasus.
You know, for as much as I appreciate a good Guns N' Roses reference, sometimes you can go a bit overboard.
Allison Court kind of went overboard with this.
Yes.
Like, I get it was for her husband, who's a huge Guns N' Roses fan, but come on. And as much as we love her as Claire, come on, girl.
Speaking of which, she made her a reappearance as Claire Redfield in the Resident Evil fan film.
Oh, hi, Girahim. Let me see. No, that's not it. This is so very embarrassing, but I seem to be at a loss for your name. Not that it matters.
Put together by a good chunk of the original cast. They were not able to get the original Jill Valentine back on board, but the girl they got to play Jill, well, woman, they got to play Jill in the, it's called Biohazard Resurrection. I should know this. I backed the fucking Indiegogo. But,
Well, anyway, tell you the truth, I'm feeling a bit frustrated, and right now I just need someone to vent to. I heard my underlings had finally captured the Spirit Maiden, so of course I rushed over here. What can I say? I was excited, flustered even. But what did I find when I arrived? That agent of the goddess. She had once again. You see, what I'm trying to say is, that goddess-serving dog escaped with the girl! I must have the Spirit Maiden in order to resurrect my master. I must have her!
I must have you, even if it is by burglary.
I got a little carried away there, didn't I? I don't deal with, well, I don't deal well with complications to plans I've laid out so carefully. It's a character flaw of mine. But something good can still come from this day. I've had all this bottled up anger smoldering inside me, and now I can release it. There's someone special I'd like you to meet. Oh, don't be shy. I need to vent all this unhealthy anger, and your agony is such a great stress reliever. It won't take more than a few moments with my friend before you're charred to a satisfying crisp, and let me tell you, that will put a spring in my step. You can definitely tell that I love... Oh, I'm doing Giraham's voice. Someone on DeviantArt imagined him being voiced by the same guy who does Seymour Guado in Final Fantasy X. Alexander Fernandez is his name. So...
Okay, so there is some stuff I'm missing. Okay. So I need to go... back up to the central hall, filled this part of the area out. Oh wait, no, central hall. That leads down there, I think. Okay. I'll just go back down to central hall. I need a fucking...
What would you imagine as the... What would you imagine as Giraham's voice?
I'd probably imagine him as something a little bit enigmatic and posh. Quite a bit like what you were doing. A bit like James, but more aggressive. Not nearly as flamboyant, but still a bit showy. You can hear me fine, right? Like, I'm not making any weird noises.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay, because for some reason Twitch says we're not actually connected anymore, which is very strange. Okay, you know what? I need my mouse pointer back, guys. Not to worry, we are still recording.
Not to worry, we're still flying with half a ship.
I like to think about what would have happened in the Star Wars timeline if all of them had just died in that moment, you know?
Well, pretty much that whole movie wouldn't happen.
I know, I'm just saying, like, what if Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Palpatine were all dead? And Count Dooku was too. Like, what happens at that point?
Pretty much the movie, it just stops.
Like the entire saga. You know what? I'll bet you they fucking send Mace Windu after Dooku.
You mean Grievous?
Oh, Grievous, yeah. They send Mace Windu after Grievous.
Because at that point, Anakin had already killed Dooku.
No, yeah, I misspoke.
And, you know, the funny thing is that what some people don't really get in regards to that whole bit, that the altercations between Anakin and Dooku, is that Anakin ends up proving in those duels against Dooku that he is almost on par with. He is pretty much on par with Dooku as a duelist.
It's time to do.
You get what I mean by that, right?
Yeah.
Like, Dooku was actually worried that he might lose.
Well, I think the idea in the original script was that it was supposed to be kind of a frame-up job where they were going to have, or Dooku was going to be taken alive. He wasn't supposed to lose his hands in the fight. It was supposed to be him throwing the fight, and then he legitimately fucking lost well before he thought he was going to lose. I was about to make a wrestling reference, and I realized that there's no way in hell you'd understand what the fuck is going on! Why? Where's my frame rate? OBS is tanking my frame rate, and this thing, the game looks fine, but OBS is getting like 2 FPS.
Whew. You know, I get that Impa's a bit hard on Link, but at the same time, it's like, lady, come on. And besides, it's not like it's an RPG. It's not like there's a strict time frame in which one can get to where they gotta go. Oh, it's like that of an RPG. You can pretty much dick around as much as you want and you'll still end up making it in the same amount of time remaining.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. There's no passage of time in this game.
And the funny thing is that
that's been a gag in a couple of video games I've seen.
And the funny thing is, aside from Skyloft, no time really passes in the land of Hyrule. Well, in this game. As much as people will rag on Skyward Sword, there is a point where we would have to concede that if not for this game, we wouldn't have a lot of the established. We wouldn't have as much somewhat understanding of the established lore of this franchise. I mean, hell, for the Hyrule Historia, Akira Himikawa made the prequel manga that takes place before this game, and then which was the inciting incident of when the goddess has decided to bless the hero's spirit, or to reincarnate, and for her to reincarnate with him in a mortal form. So getting back to those Mega Man collections, people were after the Legacy collection of the Battle Network games that come out. Many people, including myself, wanted Star Force.
Yeah, understandable.
And we got it. And it looks really good. It's surprising how well a DS game looks running at 60 frames. You know, that's normally not a thing with DS games. You'd be lucky to have it run at 30 frames. Games on a good day.
Yeah, a lot of them were kind of choppy back in the day.
Especially the ones that tried to remake N64 games, like the launch title of the DS, Super Mario 64 DS. Why did they remake that game on that console? Well, instead of, I don't know. Waiting until the 3DS. That's where they could actually make a proper remake of it, like they did with Ocarina of Time and Skyward Sword. Or not Skyward Sword, Star Fox.
Majora's Mask. Star Fox, yeah.
Yeah, Majora's Mask would eventually get its remake too, which, as I've shown you through Brain Scratch, Ted did not believe they were ever going to remake that game.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I don't think that it's gonna happen. And we see
it happened.
Yeah, we see a promotional image of Majora's Mask's remake. Hey, buddy.
Majora's Mask 3D is a bit complicated because it does some things right, but it takes a couple steps back.
Yeah. It's still like a really interesting adaptation of the game.
It is. I mean, it's still good, but there are just some things that aren't as good as the original, like Deku Link and Zora Link being nerfed.
Yeah.
And the boss fights have changed, though I struggled with Georg. Oh god, it was harder on the 3DS remake.
Gonna have to put on the bandage shield because next area we're gonna be going to, well, let's just say it is going to make a, well, next area we're gonna be going to is where we'll be getting tumbleweeds. We can't get Dusk Relics until... Game. I love you, but at the same time...
Card to unlock.
So I gotta wait for the next area to... So, let us see what this charming fellow has.
Okay.
Got the small bomb bag.
Effect made. I'm just going through the walkthrough here, trying to figure out if I've gotten off track or if I'm actually on the right track here. Because so far, this is exactly what I've been doing. I get the handgun, yep. Makeshift knife, yep. Antique coins, yep. Thing pops off. Yep. Green urban handgun ammo. Yep. West Wing map. Yep. See coin on the piano. Yep. Folded note. One of the courts seem to escape the place. Chairman has it. Yep. Darkened sitting room. Yep. Out to the manager. Yep. Handgun ammo.
So,
Pencil. Note to the chairman. Yep.
so, in case
That gets the
some
moon
people-
quartz.
So, in case some people have never seen, so one thing that Capcom was also doing, in some form of dedication and in honor of Star Force Princess Legacy Collection coming out, they decided to promote it by putting out the whole of what was animated
I've left the
and
confines of the kitchen.
by Zebek on Star Force,
Thing in the door.
which were
Orange parlor. Yep, patch steroid stabilizer blood manual. Yep.
which were a bunch of 10 to 11-minute short episodes that, for whatever reason, that the dub ended up deciding to combine into
Hemolytic injector.
combine 2 episodes into a full 22-minute
collector.
one.
Blood specimen denatured.
It was weird.
Blood compound synthesis.
Yeah. Hold on, I got a message.
Isolation ward. Anti-coin.
And so, eventually we would... And...
Okay, shortcut back to the lobby. Transfusion bag.
One thing that I kind of made the whole... and one thing... And
Okay, so I definitely need to go back and save, and then I gotta go back down that red corridor where those zombies killed me last time. So that'll be what I need to do.
So, Alex, one other thing to note about the Star Force anime was that it was the very first Mega Man thing to be dubbed outside of Canada.
Huh.
Like, you got voice actors from... Like, you got mostly non-union voice actors working on that. And although as I've mentioned in a previous thing in stream, and we also had Jason Spizek as the voice of Geo O'Stellar, the main protagonist of the game.
Nice! Good old Wally West himself. Well, one of the better voices anyway.
And I'm like, how are they able to get you back when, you know, he seemed a bit more union. Know what I mean?
Yes.
Because
craft ink ribbons.
some people would know him as Kyo from Gash Bell.
Huh.
Or, I'm sorry, as the dub called it, because for whatever reason they couldn't, you know, they couldn't have him be called Gash. That's because it sounded like a euphemism for vagina.
Zatch Bell.
Yeah, they called him Zatch Bell.
I have some Zatch Bell manga somewhere. I did not know what that series was about.
Okay, so Zatchbell... So Gashbell was about a race of tiny little people called Momotos who are from another dimension. And they come every now and then to the regular dimension in order to do battles to decide who will be the Momoto King.
No. Okay.
Although Gashbell
Grace?
Gashbell had a brother once.
Actually, you know what? Fucking kill me. Kill me. Come on, kill me. Kill me.
Brother was kind of
I just saved the game. Kill me.
Brother was kind of a huge dick.
Ah. Kill.
Come on, game, do not.
There we go.
Come on. Can we get in there without any mishaps? Nope. Nope. Ah, damn it! I was that close! You saw that! That was a load. That was a load of bullshit. Let's try this again. I did walk slowly.
So, 20th anniversary of the Angry Video Game Nerd today.
Boy, did people feel old.
I gotta go take my arthritis medication.
Bitch, please, you don't even...
Also, James actually released a lost episode of the series that was filmed back in the day and never put out. It was one of those ones like those... He did it for, like, the piano accessory.
Come on, Link. Come on. You can do this. I have faith in you. You are one of my mains in Smash Brothers for good reason.
Oh.
No. 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 Non-Link, you can do this. Second try. Alright, time to go back inside and talk to the guy. I promise there's gonna come a point in the game where I'm gonna end up having to go back. So yeah. And somebody ended up doing like an edit of a recap of a Star Force episode. Oh, since Kyle Bear voices Omegasus or War Rock in Japanese. Because remember, you gotta find a way to, you know, call him Rockman in Japan. And Mega Man in English.
Could just call him Rocky Man.
Well, anyway. So yeah, Omega Sys has Kylie Bear's voice, and at one point, I mean, when he's doing like narration for a recap on something, and you swear that Kylie Bear is just doing the last time on Dragon Ball Z bit. Like, it just feels like that, you know?
Yeah. What the fuck is going on?
It got to a point where somebody actually edited in the Faulkner recap music like, for that, and I'm like, why does this fit so well?
Find out on the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z!
Why is my frame rate tanking?
And Mega Man Star Force takes place in the not too distant future. Next Sunday. Well, in actuality, it takes place in the 23rd century, but...
Well, unfortunately, that means that, no 22nd century Sherlock Holmes visits.
Oh. Well, I don't know how there could be anything disproving that notion. So... So now that we're in Lanayru Desert... God damn it. So... Well, so yeah, in the 22nd century, or in 23rd century, or 0X. A man by the name of Kelvin Stellar ends up on a satellite. Ends up on an expedition to find proof of intelligent life existing off-world. And this is and keep in mind, this is 200 years after the Battle Network continuity, which is only further confirmed by the crossover event, and that Geo had with Lan. And funnily enough...
Currently waiting for the frame rate to calm the fuck down, but apparently that's not going to happen. Not entirely sure why, but what the fuck ever, I suppose.
Funnily enough, of Alex, they were able to get, one of the voice actors from, the NT Warrior anime back, but it wasn't in Lan's voice,
okay.
That voice
apparently
was done
closing my torrent client did just the trick. Huh.
Which, by the way, Alex,
Yeah.
one thing to note about how the English voice of Lan, he is the same man who will say that he will take a potato chip and eat it. And they got Mega Man.exe voice back, but not Lan's. Though I'm guessing Swile it had other things to do. But then again, they only needed Mega Man, and for the menu. Sick.
Looks like Mega Man's back on the menu, boys.
Yeah, so.
Right.
So,
An
so
error occurred. Please try again later. This is maddening.
This is madness. This is Capcom. Sorry. I know you're going through a lot of technical difficulties, Alex. But you know I can't help it.
I don't even know what the technical difficulties are right now. Like, I know, I appreciate you, you know, goofing around a bit. It helps liven up the mood when I'm show anything on stream.
So unfortunately after an encounter with an Femian by the name of Omegasis, Kelvin and his crew mysteriously vanished.
Okay, I'm gonna stop here and then restart and try to come back. I'm hoping that'll actually help things. If not, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. Okay. Damn it.
Let's hit this crystal, see if it does anything. And once you know it, it brings this area back to life. How strange that technology in Hyrule seems to be far more advanced in pre-Hyrule all times than it would be in, you know, something like Ocarina of Time, Minish Cap, Twilight Princess. I gotta understand Wind Waker because that was after an apocalypse. Because I don't know how you're recovering from your entire kingdom getting submerged in the goddamn ocean. Ooh. And weirdly enough, those won't wither away the minute and we leave this area of progressed time. Yeah, unfortunately, after Calvin's little incident, and where he is presumed dead, he has left behind his wife Hope Stellar and his son Geo. And ever since that whole shindig, Geo has become quite a shut-in. How much of a shut-in, you might ask?
looks like he dipped out a bit.
Yeah, he just like rebooting stuff.
Yeah. He's just cooling off, mate. He'll be back.
But yeah, damn it. And you know how much of a shut-in Geo ended up being?
I have no idea.
His attendance record has been very shoddy.
Oh.
And by that I mean non-existent.
Alright.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go to school. And he refuses to form any bonds or connections out of fear and worry that they might leave him.
I mean, I can understand, like, you know, fear of losing somebody. Because losing someone you care about sucks.
Yep.
And school kind of sucks too, but unfortunately it's mandatory.
Yeah, and it's not helped by his peers, who are led by his class president, Luna, and along with her big muscle, Bud, and this goddamn weasel by the name of Zach.
Oh boy.
I hate him.
Because
I'm like, you goddamn weasel, no one asked you. Oh, and he keeps telling, and every time he happens to be around in the first game nearby whenever Gio's doing stuff, he ends up being like, hey, he ends up informing people that Gio would rather not be involved in certain things about them, albeit unknown to him, but almost any time in the first game, it's always Zach who tells them. And to the point where I'm like, Zach, you are a goddamn weasel. Why anyone would want to be your brother, I can't fathom. Because
so he's basically a rat.
A little bit, yes. And the class president is a classic case of a tsundere.
Oh. Oh, so kind of a bitch, I think.
Or as Snake says, it's Japanese for bitch.
Yeah,
in the abridgment.
For bitch. Kind of like Lily. I heard that, you spaz patrol! Oh god, it's her.
Come on. Get in the net. Get in the net. There we are. So yeah. Yep. And Luna, despite Gio being a very antisocial shut-in that would be better off if you just left him alone, Luna and her goon squad keeps on pressing him to go to school.
Yeah, good luck with that. Remember what happened to Jimmy and Static Shock? You don't want a repeat of that.
Thankfully, Gio is not, you know, that at isn't that bad.
Okay.
So the only memorabilia that Eddie has of his dad is a pair of shade. It's called a visualizer, which apparently lets him see things on an electromagnetic spectrum. But that didn't get unlocked until he ended up meeting Megasis, as who's like, hey, if you help me out here, I could tell you about your dad. Though, of course... Hey, Alex.
Back.
Have video. We appear to have stream. We may, in fact, even have a video stream.
We may also, in fact... I was just telling Damon about how some of the lore behind Star Force. So what I was saying in Damon is that Geo is... Because of his dad... Because of Geo's dad going missing, and presumed dead, and Geo is under the ends up of such an emotional shut-in that he tries to avoid any form of social activity, which includes school. But of course, his class president, Luna Platz, or Shirogane in the Japanese version, tries to force him to go back along with her goon squad, which consists of a big, fat, tough guy named Bud, and a weasel by the name of Zack. I don't like Zack. I'm like, somehow I now have a greater appreciation for many of this cast, except for Zack. I hate him. And until Geo meets Omegasis and he becomes a Super Sentai hero. Oh, because the way that he and Omegasis fuse is straight out of a Sentai, like a Super Sentai sequence. He even has a Super Sentai catchphrase, Alex. I wish I was joking.
Searching, destroying, all done at Mach speed.
Actually, it's EM Wave Change Geostellar on the air. And yes, as Boomstick has informed the audience, as Death Battle has informed the audience, and Omegasis is a part of a race of beings was seemingly part of a race of beings known as the FMians. You know, radio frequency, AM, FM.
Yeah. Yep.
But and after being somewhat forcefully recruited into Omegasis' little shindig, and
unlock this for no particular reason.
Geo has to go through many... Has to go through much pain and strife. As Super Sentai Hero Mega Man. I only call it that just because it feels...
Extra strong.
I only call him Super Sentai Hero just because, you know, like I said, it feels ripped straight out of a Super Sentai.
Kind of Kamen Rider, to be honest.
Okay. Isn't Kamen Rider Sentai?
No, Kamen Rider is Tokusatsu. Tokusatsu and Sentai are...
Okay,
sorry,
Tokusatsu.
Rider and Sentai are both Tokusatsu.
Okay, Tokusatsu Mega Man. Though sadly he does not declare himself as an emissary from hell. As neat as that would be. Don't lie.
Sup, bitches, I'm Spider-Man. I'm here to kick your ass.
That is pretty much Tokusatsu Spider-Man in a nutshell.
Still a better adaptation than early Tom Holland.
You really think Do you think Brand New Day is going to do any form of justice to him?
Well, I mean, they already did a good job with No Way Home, so I think
You gave that
possibly.
movie a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction.
That means they barely did anything, right?
No, 2 out of 10 means they barely did anything right.
So yeah. There's a point in the Star Force games where there are various bits in the Star Force games where you swear Omegasis is quite based. Mostly due to a number of the scenes he has with another FMEN who at first was an enemy, but then ends up being a good guy in the form of Harp. Weirdly enough, in the original localization, she went by Lyra.
Yeah.
And then for
you
whatever
you could have said liar. Lyra is like a liar, you know.
the way
the
it's
liar is
spelled,
kind of like Harp.
the way Lyra is spelled as though it were lyrical. So, in essence, it's like it's the way that the term is spelled. It's like, there's a point in the game where the first person Geo ever forms a brother band, which is meant to be like a strong bond in the Star Force universe. Or it's like, at one point she gets really emotional and starts crying, and Omegasis says at one point he watched a show where apparently it's a crime to to make a woman cry. He says, "Quick, we gotta stop her before we're arrested." and I'm like, Omegasis, I don't think you understand what the character in that show meant by it being a crime. He wasn't being literal.
No.
Doesn't stop him from being somewhat literal-minded. But yeah, I feel like now that we have, and they even put in, like, for the Legacy Collection, they even put in voice clips from and got quite a bit of the voice cast from the anime back. I was surprised to hear Melissa Fawn back since she's been in more union productions than non-union. Hi, Zero.
Hello, I've somehow managed to get my game to actually work again.
Yeah. Having issues with RE9s on Steam?
Not so much the game, more so OBS. OBS was being a bitch. I had to restart my computer. So now there's just an hour of me getting mild progress done, combined with dicking around trying to get the game to work.
So, Zero.
Yeah.
I was telling Alex and Damon about the Mega Man some of the Mega Man Star Force stuff, and it was like I ended up getting to a point where I mentioned that quite a bit of the voice cast from the anime did reprise, including, to my surprise, Melissa Fawn, since last I checked, she hasn't really been in non-union stuff.
Yeah.
Like, she's been in a lot more, she's been in a lot more union things, especially stuff like...
Honkai Star Rail was the one that comes to mind for me.
Yeah. Though for some people in like American material, Melissa Fawn was the voice of Gaz from Invader Zim.
That is true.
You lie!
You lie!
As you know, tomorrow is Peace Day, and nobody's as excited for the big celebration as I am. I am scientifically possible!
Oh, I see it.
I love Roger Bumpus as in that role. Like, he's the crazy scientist dad, but he's the kind... But he's just a goofy scientist dad.
Yeah.
Yuck! It's time to hook up the electrodes to Frankenstein's neck, Max.
Oh, just like how people were shocked when they found out Bill Farmer, aside from him playing Goofy, is Detective Makoto Date, and as I've established already, in the Like a Dragon / Yakuza series. The name's... Oh, Yoki! Oh, glorious! Detective Goofy here! Oh, that sounded rough.
It's
Yeah.
also...
Yuck!
It was still also... interesting to hear Jason Spizek back as Geo, since I have said before, he's been in a lot more union than non-union stuff.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, that's kind of in the similar case when I think I found out Christine Marie Cabanos has mostly been union these days, I feel. Since I haven't heard her in, like, not as much anime. Aside from her reprising her roles here and there.
Damn it! I meant the tumbleweed. So yeah. And Zero, you know who Melissa Fawn voiced in the Star Force or stuff, right?
I think so.
She was Luna Shirogane / Platz.
Been like so long since I seen her. I think the last time I got to see her was when Anime Los Angeles had the Cowboy Bebop reunion, and that was actually the time I actually got to see her, and I think even a handful of the BAs for that.
And for people wondering who she played in that, she was Ed.
Not Ed, and Eddie, but
of course, for the
Radical Edward.
yeah.
Radical Edward, whose dad had quite literally almost beat the piss out of Spike and Jet.
I would have loved to have seen him. One of the things I've wanted was for them to do like a season 2 of Cowboy Bebop, where they just sort of inexplicably is like, yeah, Spike survived all that somehow.
But
It's
and then have Radical Edward's dad had just be hanging around as like, yeah, I'm a big motherfucker. Here I am. I just think that
feels like a plot of a crack hit.
I know.
One of those kinds.
Have you perhaps been taking something, Alex?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, hey, you've seen that pitch I made for a Terminator fanfic.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, I've been tossing around the idea. I think the only people who know are Kevin and Bender the idea of having. This video is anti-sponsored by Gator Frameworks again. Please don't buy their products.
I'm guessing you've had beef with them.
They made the mic stand that I've got. It used to be a good mic stand, and now it appears to want to become flaccid at every opportunity.
So basically it's kind of lost its usefulness.
Although
it's still better than the Radio Shack mic stand I replaced it with. Sorry, I used to replace it.
Although going back to one of the first roles I heard Melissa Fawn in was as Rika or Ruki Makino in Digimon.
Yeah.
Who is also a tsundere.
Mm-hmm.
To which I'm like, to which I'm like seeing people post about the anime and whatnot. I'm like, not the first time Melissa Fawn has voiced a tsundere.
I just came up with the pitch for it. Okay, so Spike wakes up in a hospital bed next to Radical Edward's dad, who's hooked up to a blood transfusion machine, and he says, "Boy, you lost a lot of blood, didn't you?"
Spike be like, "How did you even find me?"
Oh, who are you?
Well, I looked for all of the mayhem.
And Edward's just like, I told the father person where you were.
Mm-hmm.
And Spike's
Thanks.
like,
"Thank you, crazy child."
You know, the thing about the way that Cowboy Bebop was ending, it's like, yeah, at that point you knew it was coming to an end. And by the 24th episode,
there wasn't really any other way. Hey, it was gonna go pretty dark by that point.
Yeah.
And
Especially
for as much as I, you know, people like to say is like, yeah, it's would have been nice to have a season 2. I agree. I do also understand why they ended it where they did, because, you know, it's nice to end something on your own terms as opposed to having a you know, a bunch of bullshit happen and then a revival happens and then it's not the same and then everything is bad.
Yeah, in fact,
that happened 3 times.
Yep. So
okay, so I'm looking at the background history of Cowboy Bebop. It was said that Japan's airing of it apparently was very interesting because on TV Tokyo, where it says here it only aired episodes 2 to 3, 7 to 15, and 18 were broadcast. It was concluded with a recap special known as Yosei Atsume Blues. This was due to anime censorship having increased following the big controversies over Evangelion. As a result, most of the series was pulled from the air due to violent content.
So Ava is responsible for why certain things were the way they were in Cowboy Bebop.
What?
How odd.
Possibly, yeah.
So,
and to follow up, satellite channel Wow picked up the series in the fall of that year and aired it in its entirety uncensored. So, there's at least some hope at the end of the day. Tunnel. So, yeah.
Okay, cadaver on the table is where I was last.
Now,
that thing.
Although one role I genuinely did not expect. Although one character I did not genuinely expect to have Melissa Fawn's voice was Ryder in Fate Stay Night.
Mm-hmm. Where we went from Karen Strassman to her, but I can go either way.
And it was like she actually sounded what I imagined her to sound like.
Mm-hmm. And she would later go on to voice her again in the other Fate series, especially the First Order and Babylonia.
I still find it weird that they
Artemis
couldn't get
Corpse,
Kari
Blood
Walgren
Lab,
in
Apocrypha?
Apocrypha, since that was
Lobby.
union dubbed.
Yeah. And I get the reason why, like, Merlin had a change in VA, because, like, initially they weren't even sure if Koi Dao was going to be stayed on as Merlin, but ultimately we got Robbie Damon instead for Babylonian onwards. Just to match up with him and Takahiro Sakurai. There was that Final Fantasy Type 0 game where Robbie does end up playing Sakurai's role in that.
Yay.
Okay, that's where I need to be. This is
Although
where I've already been.
Although that did leave me head scratching with Hate Extra Last Encore, where Kotomine, even though he only has like maybe didn't have a whole lot of lines, was just played by Armin Taylor just for that small scene he had in the first episode.
That made no sense.
Yeah.
He doesn't even sound like a good Kotomine.
He doesn't even sound like he's matching Joji Nakata or like any, Crispin or Jameson at all. And it's even more baffling even for those who probably never played Fate Extra or Fate Extra CCC, probably won't even understand what the heck is going on unless you played those two games to understand what is going on. Thankfully, I did play through Fate Extra after
damn it.
feeling kind of disappointed with Last Encore. Although, to be fair, the saving graces was that both Chris Patton and Vic Mignogna were in those.
And it done fucked up. But I remember where I need to go now. Which is better than I was before.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, fuck yourself, buddy.
I just reminded that interview with the Ad Boys, Matt Hill, Sam Vincent, and Tony Sampson, where they had a little reunion, and it was just fun galore experiences of their time recording on the show. And then Matt Hill brings up they had their own little trailer cars where they go, "Fuck you, buddy, skithead." Although, at the very least, during that interview, Tony Sampson could still pull off the voice despite how much it really hurted his vocals.
Ooh. There's blood in the medication room.
Woo!
Wee-hoo. Wee-hoo.
I do not know sure how I feel about Robbie Damon as Kenshiro, especially in that Lost Paradise game. Mostly, it's cast consisting of VAs from Yakuza. It's certainly a choice.
So, although, in terms of my progress in the game, in the first Star Force game, I have met Best Girl Sonya. And in Zero, as I mentioned, the localization actually corrected a infamous error with the Star Force series in that Lyra is now just Harp, or in the English translation.
Mm. Yeah. That's it. Right.
By the way, I just checked the Requiem poll again that IGN had, and it's up to nearly 600,000 votes, and they still haven't wiped it. That's,
I wonder
that's,
why.
That's weird. Maybe it's because the person they wanted to win is winning now.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, brother. You gotta do your steroids if you want to become a hotshot WWF wrestler.
Isn't it WWE?
It
Oh,
was
might as
the
well.
WWF back in my day, brother.
Yeah. That just happened.
So,
Ah, shit. I'm going the other way now.
but tell me something, Alex.
Yeah?
Now, what kind of RPG do you expect the Star Force to be like, since it takes place in the same universe as the Battle Network series?
Tactical.
Who wants to tell him?
It's gonna be a regular old turn-based, isn't it?
No.
Well, since you asked, I can look this up.
Battles in Star Force are fought on a 5x3 grid, in which you are
A real-time tactical RPG.
Okay, so it was tactics.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I'm taking a page out of Square Enix. Square
Except
Enix, the word.
Except it's not a Fire Emblem based. It's RPG.
Yep.
Okay, fuck this. I'm gonna save scum this. I'm not going back to get those steroids again.
Sometimes you gotta save state as a last resort.
Oh, I'm not actually. I'm not
Yep.
actually save stating. I'm just save scumming, as in like I'm setting a separate save in case I fuck up.
Good call.
Yep, fair enough.
Like an alternate save in a way.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be back. If not, I'm probably gonna be heading off because I've got to return a package for my dad. So yeah.
That's
Right.
okay.
I might come back, but yeah.
That's fine.
Some more ink ribbons. Take the sting off of me having to save scum that shit. Okay, back to the blood lab. To the blood lab we go.
Although one thing to note. Although one thing to note, Alex.
Yeah?
I feel like part of the life that the protagonist I've described to you who lives is somewhat similar to one Blue Beetle.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention Blue Beetle, because I was just watching a review of a thing called think it was called Justice Beetle, and it's like a bad knockoff of Blue Beetle.
What?
Yeah, Justice Beetle.
You're gonna have to run that by me a couple more times before it
okay.
sinks in.
Okay, so you want to know what the character's name is?
What is the character's name?
Dan Garrett.
As in the OG Blue Beetle.
Uh-huh.
People be like, how do you even know that? You don't read comics. I'm like,
I read comics.
and I have this wonderful thing called the internet.
The internet. Get ready. Get set. We're surfing on the internet.
Or as Venom wants to see, are we gonna surf the web? I love Venom in that game. So,
God damn it. Well,
yeah, if you're... Oh, and at one point in this game series that talks... that goes into some somewhat heavy subjects here and there, we have... We have a guy, whom, as I've told you before when I was summarizing part of the game's plot, is named Tom Dubious. That's how it's pronounced in the show. Whom, after being manipulated by a swan. How much of this do you think I'm making up?
I know you well enough to know that it's probably nothing.
So yeah, the swan known as Cygnus.
Oh, damn it.
Which is based off of the Swan constellation. Takes over this guy, and while everybody is inside of a space simulator, or I wish I was joking here, they actually have this in the future. Or I'm sorry, I gotta do the Kanasen.
In the future.
Thank you. In the future. So while everybody is touring the various planets, which sadly do not include Pluto, because in the future, Pluto is no longer a planet.
Lame, 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 lame.
Yes, I agree. But then, when everybody ends up looking at Mr. Dubious possessed by Cygnus, they all perform a pretty ballerina dance. Which normally would be very silly, but given the context and the fact that there is limited oxygen inside of where they are, that seems very dangerous.
No, I don't think I will.
But yeah.
Hey, transfusion bag.
But yeah, that just feels like one of the various cases of like, oh, of like if you don't think about it, this seems a bit silly, but if you do think about it, you're like,
Swing
ew,
1F.
oh yeah, this is definitely a problem. So, if you're into...
What?
Oh, although, keep in mind, the game also has quite the encounter rates. They even
Well,
added
that's
a...
also lame.
They even added a max encounter rate for this. Because apparently people hate themselves. I wish I was joking. Hello there, young lady.
Hey, can I pick up your thing? Whatever that is. No? Okay. Guess not. East Wing map. There we go.
And yes, and I
Locked
believe
it.
you... And Alex, I believe you can adjust the encounter rate, especially with items that you can get in the game, so it's not that bad.
Unfortunately, Grace is not the master of unlocking and will immediately break this fucking pick upon trying to use it.
Because only the master of sandwiches can unlock this door.
Puzzle box is in the background. Yeah, I've already solved that fucking puzzle box thing. I think.
Alright, fine. I will go and store one of my shields, and I will be right back.
Moon, sun, star, moon.
Hello there, young lady.
Artificial organ transplant experimentation.
Hi. Hi. Whatever you say. Okay, thank you. Come again.
Misplaced my key for the puzzle box padlock. Bottle of
Alright,
corrosive from the conference room and melt the lock off. Why do you keep a bottle of corrosive in the fucking conference room?
So, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex, I would definitely give these games a look-see, or at least playing through the games.
ID wristband level 1! Whoa!
You know, for some reason, I have the urge to quote that bit from Family Guy where Quagmire's like, "Load!" It's like, back off. So...
Alright, Blubbernut.
Hello there.
Hi.
And this is why you gotta take that Ozempic, guys. Otherwise, you'll be too big to fit through a fucking door.
Now, Alex, I want...
or even go to the amusement park or go on certain rides. But no, that's actually true.
Ooh, gratitude crystals. Yay!
Meanwhile, as I go on looking for more 3DS related stuff, man, trying to find a 3DS in a good condition is a whole can of worms off of when I was checking by E. Yeah, because I've seen some listings where, like, the screens are yellowed, and I think it's because some of them were in Japan.
Some of them probably got left out in the sun, or they got delaminated, or something like that.
Yeah, so much so, like, yeah, you're gonna have one of those cases where I have to probably take apart the 3DS and replace the screens, and even that's, like, already a bit of a hassle even for me. Like, I already dealt with having to disassemble an arcade stick and swapping out the buttons and lever and all that.
Yeah.
You're like, that's probably the most I can handle, and also replacing the USB cable with a braided nylon one. So,
Oh, that's a good idea.
yeah, because most of the arcade sticks I have come across, they just use the standard, like, plastic cords. And yeah. I think it might have been Mehcast was one of the first instances where they did actually had the detachable braided cords, which were a godsend. Definitely worth keeping.
Oh, this will definitely be something we have to come back for. We gotta beat up desert hermit crabs.
You know, why can't you just put that fucking thing on, Grace?
Damn it.
Yeah. But if you were to ask me to do soldering, yeah, I ain't gonna... Not happening. Not anytime soon, anyways. Especially if it involves having to replace those batteries on those old cartridges.
Yep. Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Damn lithium batteries.
Why you gotta be a hassle like that, man? It's just ain't it, Chief. It's just ain't it.
There's a reason why I prefer emulating
That's
Super
a Requiem
Nintendo
bullet.
and Game Boy games.
Oh yeah. Thank you,
At least Game Boy
MGBA.
Game Boy Advance games don't have this issue.
And at the very least, since the whole thing with Fire Red and Leaf Green being released on Switch, I at least have two means of
Playing them in official capacity.
And I will say MGBA is better than Visual Boy Advance.
Oh yes. Because I swear to God, when it came to Visual Boy Advance and trying to set up the whole trading, that was a nightmare in of itself back in the day.
Yeah, MGBA you can trade with yourself.
Absolutely new
You'll have to link me.
problem.
You'll have to link me to that.
Oh. Oh yeah. I think there should be tutorials out there that explain it how. Sure.
Caught a sand cicada. And with this, I have almost every bug on record.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Oh my god.
Those. You guys ever seen the abridgment of Fist of the North Star done by Weekly Tube Show?
At some point, probably.
Yeah, probably just for a brief bit.
I swear, or he just finds a way to make one of the funniest, comically serious characters out there. In the form of his version of Kenshiro.
Yeah.
What part didn't you like? Oh, I don't know! The part where you broke my fucking back! Oh, we haven't gotten to that part yet. What are you...
Oh, man.
Damn it! And,
Yeah.
I was watching some... I was watching
fucking
some, like parts of a retrospective to the Legacy of Goku trilogy, which I want to try out the second game. I have already seen enough of the first game to be like, yeah, no, this isn't something I want to.
And it's even
touch.
baffling, like, literally the whole Frieza fight, you just gotta exploit Solar Flare and then just get a couple
No,
punches
that's not.
in on him.
No, that's not the Frieza fight. That's every fight in that game.
Oh, that is true.
The minute you learn Solar Flare, that's it. That's your strategy.
You basically, Goku basically makes everyone his bitch.
Yep, and the max level you can get up to is 25.
Ah. Wow. And sadly, I think even the first Samurai Warriors and Sengoku Basara had that. The maximum level is 20, but Basara 2 and onwards, 100.
I can tell you, Legacy of Goku 2 is much better.
Even so much
And the
so
max
that it...
level cap is 50.
Yeah. I mean, heck, even
how does that
the Legacy
sound?
of Goku 2 made its way into Japan as Legacy of Goku 2 International, where they had some slight tweaks to the game.
And
And
you've
I'm
got
sure-
recreations of the Falcon of Production score, and the dialogue is
I
basically
got a wrench.
lifted from the dub. Mostly the edited version on the edited tapes and TV broadcasts.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair on them,
They really didn't have a whole lot
to be
to
fair
do
on
with
to be fair on Webfoot, they did not have access to the source material. at
And
this
I
point
got
in time.
another.
With
Yeah.
Legacy of Goku 2, they did at least do their research.
And some
Yeah.
more scrap.
But I will say the one slight, obvious, understandable complaint people had was the Gohan's not having the right outfit when he fights Cell.
Yeah,
Mostly-
he's in his Saiyan armor, you know, when he's in the Room of Spirit and Time, or Hyperbolic Time Chamber.
The
Yeah.
hypersonic lion tamer.
That one was on purpose.
That's why it's hypersonic, Gohan.
I thought it was. I
Oh,
thought
I was supposed to know.
Goku.
And I will admit that I did read the dialogue, and I even mimicked the voices from the dub at that time.
You know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
when Vegeta used to sound like this.
Yeah.
My Vegeta's somewhat influenced by that. I like to think I like to think that I'm somewhere between the three versions.
Though
And-
when I mimic Chris Sabat's Vegeta, I prefer how he sounded around the boo-ah.
Although to be fair, yeah, I do kind of like how Sabat's Vegeta sounds in Kai, where he's definitely taking a bit more cues from the Japanese, from real.
Yeah,
Horikawa.
he sounds way better in Kai. I'm
My
much more
favorite
Yes, that was
version.
when he sounded a bit more like this.
My favorite version of Vegeta is Kai or Battle of Gods.
Yeah.
By
If
Kai,
anyone's go-
Sabbath has most improved.
Yeah.
I find it baffling how people on social media could flat out say that they preferred the version of Vegeta where he's like, idiots behind you! Ah, ah!
Idiots behind you! Ah, ah.
And Piccolo's like, what?
Idiots behind you! Ah.
Hey, watch
I'm
where,
not saying
what?
the partial
Hey, watch where
redubbing
you're
of
going,
voice
you
acting
fool.
was a bit better, but again, Kai.
You morons! He's behind you!
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I was like listening to a bit of a radio talk from Ryo Horikawa back in the day. Like Sabin mentioned that. I think it wasn't until they got
You
to
know what I'd
probably
do
the games
right
where
here?
he heard Ryo's performance as Vegeta.
You know what I would have done right there is I would have just climbed up the fucking bulldozer. Stop the bulldozer driver before you become a pancake. I fucking shot him and it didn't do anything.
In.
Oh, man. So... So I think one of the funny I find it funny how like while back it's like we look back on what used to be acceptable in our childhood for anime dubbing, and then we just make memes out of them.
Yeah, basically taking.
Because
the
yeah,
piss
the
out of
idiots
them.
behind you bit, it is a very well-known meme, even in the fandom, and people will just edit in whatever.
Yep. My favorite is when Gohan calls Nephis. You smell. I smell. It's not my fault. I've been cooped up in a space pod for years. What do you expect? Vegeta just laughing. Vegeta's just like, yeah, you totally deserve that one, Nappa.
Alright, well, this has to be on purpose. They just shoved the camera right up Grace's butt for that.
They need to get a nice ass shot.
Yeah, and it can't just be Leon's. You gotta appeal to both demographics.
Yep.
I remember I saw somebody was saying and that Leon should be like a little out of shape underneath his compression shirt in Resident Evil 9, and I was thinking, and do you think that the Japanese women who designed him would stand for that?
No, they would not.
No, they would not.
If they heard that, the people complaining about it, they were like, oh, hell no.
Like, some people forget that...
He's 49 years old and he's built like fucking Kenshiro underneath that thing.
Yeah, he'd be like almost on point with Kazuma Kiryu. Like, sure, that man is looking damn good for his age.
Mm. Oh, would you look at that? It's a crimson head.
So... So, Alex, how does it feel knowing that we've only got one more Digimon movie to go through before we're done with Adventure?
Oh yeah.
Oh, fuck this. That was a Crimson Head, Gracie. Took all my fucking bullets to kill it, but, you know.
Whatever works, works.
And meanwhile, in the Devil Artemis universe, all it took for Leon to take out Cell was simply deflecting both a beam from him and a spirit bomb before just shooting him in the head with a magnum.
Holy shit.
And he ends it obviously on a one-liner, and as I've told Alex, is like, "The perfect android, huh? Guess perfection's got a few bugs." Cause I feel like that line kind of works mostly due to the fact that it's a play on obviously on the fact that Leon is both quipping about Cell's boasted perfection and as well as the fact that he looks like an insect.
I got more inventory.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Especially, I do like how Cell looks very beetle-like, especially with his like head and wings.
Big bad beetle box.
Although to be fair, I even talked to Damian Clark about how like even Toriyama, after Cell was introduced into the manga, he pretty much regretted designing him like right away because of how. For goodness sakes, the man's already hard enough to draw as is.
Yeah, and now they have to animate him.
Yep, and which is why I think when it came to Boo, he wanted something more simpler so that way he could write it better.
Yeah, it was way easier to draw Boo than it was Cell.
Yeah.
I'm just speaking from a fan's perspective. Cell is a bitch to draw.
Yeah.
That's why I'm never commissioning art of him. Because the artist will be like, if the artist is just gonna tell me no, I refuse.
Yeah. Which is, I feel like, when
hey there, my name's Cell.
I feel like with Toriyama, when
you have to draw.
I feel like when it came to for Toriyama, like some of the ideas he had for Cell would probably be carried over into Boo.
Boo's got holes on him as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
but it's like it's not nearly as egregious.
Although the worst part about how Boo is designed, in as Super Boo especially, is just like it's pretty much Cell.
Yeah. Even I think he went through some slight design changes, like I think it was during the Japanese airing of Kai, he still probably had like the red eyes. But it's been a long time since I watched the Japanese airing.
No, Kai he had white irises.
Yeah.
As until a certain point, then he got the red eyes.
I think it kind of made sense in the original anime, where in the original anime it kind of was around the time when he faces off against Gotenks in the Spirit of Time room.
Yeah, Room of Spirit and Time, yes. But in Kai, they actually do an eye transition. which I gotta
Yeah.
admit, that was a smart edit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
My eyes were originally white, then they became red.
I think even so much so that even became a thing at one point when I think it was like AB Toys back in the day that did a couple of Dragon Ball figures. They did release a Super Boo figure with the white eyes, strangely. But looking at my SH Figure Arts Super Boo figure, yeah, he pretty much has the red eyes as he generally is intended to have.
I still loved that one edit somebody did where they synced up the Faulkner score
damn it.
to to the scene where
So much for modern Resident Evil being forgiving, I suppose.
Hmm.
Anyways, I was saying so.
Yep.
Oh, one person ended up doing an edit of the scene where Boo makes a guy explode.
Oh yeah.
Ah, yes. Yeah, that guy, Smitty,
Yeah.
I think his name was.
Mm-hmm. Dang. I think, yeah, I remember. There was like one scene that was removed in Kai, but I wasn't sure why it was those like two shooters that killed like an innocent old couple. Like,
Yeah,
was
that was cut in Kai, I think.
Yeah, it was still in the manga, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
I
also
guess
know
by
in
that-
Kai they cut out the scene where Krillin thinks Piccolo's gonna eat Gohan. That was cut out in Kai, even though that was in the manga.
Mm-hmm.
Ow.
This was in the Saiyan arc, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Was that filler or was that the manga?
That shot, like,
You just want to eat him up.
I do not!
that shot was in the manga, but it's cut out in Kai.
Mm-hmm.
It's after
Weird.
That's
Raditz
weird.
and Goku are dead.
Mm-hmm.
Piccolo is probably. I feel like Krillin had a very active imagination. And I don't blame him for thinking that, since Piccolo was a bad guy
Yeah.
beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, nobody watched Dragon Ball.
Yep.
Sadly,
And I will keep emphasizing, watch through the original Dragon Ball before you go through Z or Kai, and then
I
you'll-
really need to go back to OG Dragon Ball.
Oh man.
There was a funny. So there was a funny bit where Lanny actually paid tribute to how the original manga ended up doing a bit in Yu Yu Hakusho Bridge, because for context sake, it was the last arc that Lanny covered, or the last case that Lanny covered in Yu Yu Hakusho Bridge was the case involving Yukina, aka
come on.
Hiei's little sister.
Ah yes.
And it was during, and essentially it was during Yusuke and Company's confrontation with this trio of demons dubbed the Triad,
Oh yeah.
and consisting of Miyuki, Inmaki, and Goku Monkey.
Mm.
Funnily enough, most of the Black Club in that abridgment were voiced over by a couple of TFS guys.
Sweet.
And Martin was putting on this kind of voice. There's a point where as a nod to the dub when in regards to how much Gonzo Tarukane is willingly going to have to pay.
Yeah.
Because Tarukane and the Black Club were gambling on Yusuke, Botan, and Kuwabara's lives in terms of rescuing Yukina, and the first bet was on them making it out of the forest area filled with the demons.
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably fucked now, but yeah, I'm fucked.
And Tarukane at first was the only one who seemed privy to the strength of Yusuke and company. To the point where he was going to screw over his fellow members of the Black Club out of money by offering to double everyone's wagers.
Yeah.
And everyone except for one bet that Yusuke and Kuwabara were going to bite it. The one being Sakyo.
Ah, yes.
Who repeatedly betted on Yusuke and Kuwabara's as not only their survival, but also their triumph. In the dub, he's voiced by Eric Vale. And And out of every character that Eric Vale voices in that show, he's probably the one character I like the most out of his characters in Yu Yu Hakusho.
And voiced by the late Nobuhiko Kazama, who played Sakyo in Japanese. Rest his soul.
And Sakyo was constantly betting, and as I said, Sakyo was constantly betting.
I am probably dead now. I didn't think the Crimson Head was going to be that close to me.
On a hero's survival, and all to the point where he was making some really risky wagers.
Oh yeah.
Almost like he had a plan of sorts.
And this kind of would play into the Dark Tournament.
Yep. Arc. And so in the the abridgment kind of makes the joke of Toguro and Sakyo having already known each other, but they try to play it off as though they don't know one another, but they say it in such a way where it's spoken at the same time, to which I'm like, that implies you do know each other, since you act like you knew exactly what to say at that moment.
I can read your mind.
And the way that Tarukane sounds is kind of like this. There's a point where, I kid you not, after Sakyo starts betting billions of dollars on this whole shindig, Tarukane is like, Sakyo, quit busting my balls. $1 billion isn't a real number. And his butler is like, sir, $1 billion is a real number. I've just been informed that $1 billion is a real number.
Yep.
You gotta admit that delivery is just... It's just a bit too funny. So yeah, Sakyo... the second bet ends up being on the Triad, who introduced themselves as such. Miyuki, Inmaki, Goku Monkey!
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, you can already tell right away what... So... So at first, so the first one to go up there is Miyuki. Whom when Yusuke is looking for somebody to fight, they respond, "I'll be your Huckleberry." At first, Kuwabara is like, "We can't fight you. You're a girl." Oh, and Yusuke's like, "I'll kick your ass."
I don't care if you're a man or a woman.
I don't care if you're a man, woman, or someone's grandmother. I'm like, Yusuke, you are just absolutely based for all of this.
And soon enough, Mass Burndead would follow in Yusuke's footsteps.
And then... And then at one point during the fight, Kuwabara, and during various points in the fight, Kuwabara repeatedly chastises Yusuke for attacking her in such ways, which includes, "You're a mess, you can't hit her in the tatas, she's a girl." Kuwabara, if you'll just listen... Wait, tatas? And it takes a while for Yusuke to tell Kuwabara that Miyuki is a dude.
It's a trap!
She's got a penis.
Yeah.
Whoops! No, wait, no,
To which then Kuwabara, because as he commented, is after Tarukane was shown immediately after Yukina, he goes, "Oh my god, that's the fastest I've ever lost a boner."
Oops!
To which after he hears that Miyuki is a dude, he's like, "That's the second fastest I've ever lost a boner." They fight in Maki, which relied a fair bit on strategy. But then when it comes to Goku Monkey, he doesn't get a fight. He doesn't get a fight in the manga. He's just
probably.
He just gets bodied off screen.
Yeah.
And Lady just has one of the Black Club be like, now, there's still one more member of the Triad left. Maybe he could. Well, I better call my wife and tell her our kids aren't going to college.
Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys.
And it does eventually escalate to him saying for the club to make their bets on the Taguro brothers. And at first, first he's confident in their victory, since he thinks that he's the only one who knows their strength, but then Sakyo decides to make a bet in the trillions.
Ooh.
To which then Tarukane responds, "You're just fucking with me, aren't you? Even if I were to take that bet, there's no way I could pay that off." Up to which then, and Sakyo replies that that's not entirely true, since if he sold all the Hiroseki Stonemaker, or Yukina, Because that's the reason why Tarukane keeps her around, kept her around, which was due to the fact that Okina could make such a rare and expensive-looking stone. Owned from
So I
her
have something.
peers.
I have something I want to bring up here. So
Okay.
this is about Critical Role, right?
Matt Mercer and his
Somebody,
gang.
yeah. So somebody in the comments of a Critical Role video is saying, so wait, when all this started, most of these guys were playing with people in their early 20s. Jeff Straley replies saying, Marisha was the youngest of the OG cast at 26, so only she was not in her 30s when the stream started. And then somebody else replies, they were all young, they have all aged. That's kind of how linear time works. Hope this helps. And then why that guy, who's the guy who started this thread, says, fully grown adults shouldn't play games with children. 20-fucking-6? Really?
Uh-huh. The heck?
Don't know why this has to be explained to you. Motherfucker, I never would have gotten started playing D&D if I wasn't playing it with fucking adults. There were no... The kids didn't know how to run a game. We learned by playing with the adults.
Literally.
Yeah. At the game store.
Yeah.
Like, who... Am I supposed to wrangle up a gaggle of youngsters and teach them how to play D&D? And it was like, no, it was like, the kids of the guys who played at the game store got together, played some games with their parents, with the other adults who were at the game store. Then as we grew up, we went on to do our own things. What the fuck is... Yeah, and then somebody else, this is Alana Daniela, says, people's concept of age gaps has become so warped because what do you mean children? Marisha was 26 at the start of Critical Role playing with a table of people in their 30s. No one in this equation was a child. You're the weird one here, bro. And I was like, yeah, this is fucking stupid.
Christ. Mighty.
So, yeah, that's just... It's like how people try to infantilize, like, people that are 19 to 20, to which I'm like, guys, I think they're consenting adults.
Yeah, it's like...
They know what they're doing.
Tobey Maguire's 50, dating a woman in her 20s. It's like, yeah, woman in her 20s, and he's fucking Spider-Man. And, like, you think that nobody gives a shit. She's she's a full-grown woman, and she can date Spider-Man if she wants to.
Yep. So... Yep, come on. Get back here, you son of a bitch.
Come back here, you! Or rather... Let's see if I have it.
Get the fuck over here, bitch!
Not what I was going for. But thank you, Scorpion. So...
Okay.
Apparently there's a photo of Ashley in Resident Evil 9 at some point. Apparently it was a piece of cut content that they threw in and is like an Easter egg for the Resident Evil 4 remake.
Huh. Interesting.
Apparently it's an actual photo of Ella Freya.
Oh.
Feel about,
Nice.
How do you feel about Nick's voice as Leon in RE9?
Oh, I haven't actually heard much of it. I've been playing the game in Japanese.
So, yep, you're pretty much getting...
So more
Although I did like it when, I did like it when I watched Ben's playthrough. Because Ben played the game in English.
Of course.
Yeah.
Hey.
Around the doing. You know, probably get around to playing Kakarot at some point, but I'm probably gonna have. It's probably gonna be a modded playthrough with the Japanese script and whatnot. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna have those voices set in Japanese because it was still during a time where I just like got so fed up with what had happened during that point in time.
Scott up for be oh, Sean Schemmel sounds much better now that he's sounding a lot like Nozawa, and I'm like, no, he's not. You are lying to yourself.
And the fact that, well, Sabbath, as, you know, when you hear him as Zarbon Jason Birder, he sounds just as obnoxious in Kakarot. Ain't you know that? Come on, Billy Bob.
Don't play stupid with me, wanker.
I think that was a line that I think he said in Tenkaichi 1, and I think it took them until like Tenkaichi 2 or 3 to kind of have that line trimmed out. Oh my god. In fact, yeah, I will say Savage, Jason Bird, they sound just as worse. Even in Xenoverse. But, I digress.
I'm gonna be wrapping it up soon.
Yeah.
Because I've kind of just been sitting here in the save room because I know I'm about to die and I don't want to go anywhere else. So I'm just kind of, yeah.
Yeah, just...
Meanwhile, I'm
just doing a couple more things to get more mileage out of my modded 3DS, like adding custom badges.
So Alex, if you could change one aspect of Skyward Sword aside from the motion controls that people have hated, what would you change?
I'd add more motion controls.
Okay then. Honestly,
I want to have one-to-one motion controls for my shield too.
Kind of like Mario Galaxy almost, or different?
Yeah, kinda.
Okay. Well, at the very least, if there's something I did like about the Switch version of Galaxy, is that at least it gives you the option to play with a regular Pro controller, but finds a way to at least include the motion a bit. But then again, you know, when I did play through it, I didn't mind it as much, so my time with it was manageable.
Grace, Leon, chapter 5. What's that? So I gotta go all the way to chapter 16. Okay. Online store, and all it does is take you to the fucking game on Steam.
Oh, what do we do?
That's funny.
Yeah. Exactly, that's what happened when I was going through TMNT Shredder's Revenge. I was pretty much a day one supporter for that game immediately.
this chest up. Got a red rupee. I hate having to carry these things. You can see why.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Sorry, I had a burp. Dang, it's warm in here. Nice in here. Take Papa's car tomorrow. Okay, because we gotta go to Biloxi to his doctor's appointment. And he put it in a place where hopefully you can get it out easier. Because it's like,
There we are. Booyah. Yeah. The zappy zap. Let's open up this chest. Yeah. Why a blue rupee? Is this one of those? Oh, if you lost your shield, here's another one. Fun type of deals.
Oh, I see you lost your shield there, buddy. Well, tell you what. He can give you the shield. So.
Dum-de-dum.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot. I really need to watch through Futopia, the follow-up series to Kamen Rider Double. My first and one of my favorite of the Kamen Rider series. To that. Let's...
I will sit down.
One moment.
Phenomena. I think one of my favorite bits of Totally Not Mark's differences between in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Z Abridged was him having to point out that Piccolo doesn't sing Phenomena from the Muppets. Because I'm like, I don't think anyone would have doubted you there. Unless, of course, they genuinely did not watch or read the original show, to which I'm like, why would you watch an abridgment without having seen the actual show?
Even I'm just left eyebrow raising, like, really now?
Like, the whole point of Dragon Ball Z Abridged... Alex is gone.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he had stuff to take care of, so I'm gonna go save and call it. First, opening up this chest, what do we get? Ooh, a piece of heart. Or I'm sorry, as James Woods would say, ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy.
Thank you, Family Guy.
That was one of the best bits of him on that show.
Yeah.
Just every time he ends up getting defeated, it's always he's luring him away with Reese's Pieces.
Yeah.
Get back here. There we go.
God damn.
Hermit crab. There we are. Got another tumbleweed. Now to make things easier on myself. So that way, I can get back in here. And now to the save point. So next time on the Legend.
He's back.
I'm guessing you had to help out with your mom because I heard her.
the game fucking crashed.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I heard your mom in the
OBS
background.
crashed. Yeah. OBS crashed first though.
Damn,
I'm gonna go ahead
And let me ask, are you on the latest version of OBS?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I am too.
It automatically
What
updates.
the fuck? Oh god.
So anyway, next time on Skyward Sword, we're going to continue through Lanayru Desert and hopefully get through another dungeon. So, you know where to find Alex and myself. You can find DJ Brett12 on BitChute and in Ultimate Zero under Ultimate Zero X on Twitter or Instagram.
Ultimate. Yep. Well, Ultimate_0x on Twitter, but yeah.
Yeah. And anyway, stay safe.